Welcome to Golden Nuggets, where truth and wisdom gets married and brings forth enlightenment. I want to speak to you today about attitude and commitment. Today, we will explore what has gotten you to this place in your life. The moment has come for reflection and revelation. It's time to elevate and evolve. I am Ezra, A.K.A. the voice of reason, over and out. Welcome to another episode of Golden Nuggets, bite-sized truths in moments of need. And today, I've got a great one for you. We're going to be looking at the lion mode versus the gazelle mode. So let's get right into this, because today is all about introspection. So you're going to need a pen and a pad, because you're going to need to take some notes, because today we're going to explore 23 questions to identify truth, for you to be able to recognize where you are actually at. What is really happening with you? What choices are you making? What actions and steps are you taking that has gotten you to this place and that will take you to the next level that you want to get to? So if you need to get your pen and pad, just pause this and come back once you have it, because we're going to get into this. And I want you to answer these questions honestly, truthfully, so that you can find the truth that will set you free. Because what we're going to be looking at today is, when the going gets tough, which one are you? Which mode do you operate out of? Lion mode or gazelle mode? Because this will determine your future, your success, your progress, and how you navigate through life. So, what mode are you operating out of? And depending on whatever it is, what mode you function out of determines what type of results you will achieve. And I just want to say from the start, like, the gazelle mode equals average. The lion mode equals greatness. And it may be in some areas for all of us that we operate out of the gazelle mode, and that's okay. First stage of any change is awareness. So as you start to mark these things down, become aware of what you may need to change. But also, just as equally important, be aware of where you are operating out of greatness, because it's about having balance and recognizing our strengths as well as our areas of development. So let's get into this. First one is, when you're in situations and circumstances, what is it that comes to mind for you? Is the first thing you think is, I can't? Or is it, I am? Do you look at it from a state of disempowerment, and you think and even sometimes speak into the atmosphere, into the universe, from a point of lack and limiting beliefs? Or do you speak from a place of authority? Do you declare what your future will be? Do you speak from that vantage point? Do you see from that vantage point of I am? Because those are the two greatest words that you could ever start a sentence with when you're speaking in a positive. And it's really important to be aware of what you think about, and what you speak about, you often bring about. And so it's just important to check yourself when facing a difficult situation, when facing a challenge. What is the first thing that comes to mind, and what is the first thing that comes out of your mouth? That will determine what mode you are in. So just put a tick. Just, draw a line on your page and put gazelle and put lion, and write down the numbers 1 to 23. And as we're going through, just tick which side you're on. The next one is, do you live by chance and default? Or do you live by choice and design? Think about this. Do you live by chance and default? Do you just allow life to happen to you, hoping that things may just work out, hoping that somehow you will get healthier, fitter, that you'll make more money, that you'll get in a better relationship? You're just hoping by chance, by default, whatever life throws at me. Or are you living by choice and design? Are you making conscious decisions to better yourself? Are you taking action? Are you choosing to say no to those things that don't serve you? Are you setting goals for yourself? Do you have a plan and a purpose? Is there things that you do not engage with because you know it's leading you away from those things that are important to you? And are there certain things that you make sacrifices to ensure that you have because you know they're good for you? Which one do you operate out of? The next thing is, are you reactive or proactive? Is it only when something goes wrong or when there could be a really dire consequence that you react to something? Are you like the gazelle that only runs when its life's in danger? It only gets into action when there's danger. Or are you like the lion who's proactive? You go after things, you seek things, those things that you desire, you work for, you fight for, you hunt for. You're proactive. You know where you want to go and you know the steps you need to take, and you start taking those steps. No matter how far you are away, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And because you are aware of where you want to get to, what you want to do, what you want to become, you're proactive in taking the steps to get there. No one doesn't need to tell you or remind you. You are on your journey. You're on your path. You're doing your thing, your way. And what happens with you in situations? Do you flee or do you hunt? Do you flee the scene? Do you flee the confrontation? Do you flee the courageous conversation? Do you flee the challenge that would elevate you a bit more? Do you flee the opportunity to get that promotion? Do you flee those things that you know you should be engaging in? Those talks, those conversations, those workouts? Do you flee things? Do you run as fast as you can in your mind, in your heart, in your convictions, in your values? Or are you like the lion that hunts? You hunt for your future. You hunt for your goals. And you kill that prey. You kill that objective. You kill that goal. You kill that mission. You kill that project. And you eat. You eat of success. You eat of breakthrough. You eat of growth. Which one are you? Where are you at today? What have you missed because you flee the opportunity? Or what have you been blessed by because you hunted, caught your prey, and reaped the benefits of the spoil? The gazelle survives. The lion thrives. Are you just surviving? Are you in survival mode? Are you constantly in fight or flight, worried and concerned about this, about that, about him, about her, about what they will say, about what might happen, about if you fail? Are you being controlled by this mindset of fear of failure? And you're just surviving each day, surviving your relationship, surviving in your body, surviving in your mind, surviving in your emotions, because you're an emotional roller coaster? Or are you like the lion that thrives? You may have sometimes when you're down, but you go for it either way. Nothing can stop you. You will keep pressing forward. You fight the good fight. You are doing better every day. You can look at yourself from 3, 6, 9, 12 months ago and see progress because you've pushed through. You've continued, you've elevated. You're thriving. Nothing can stop you. You may not be as better as some people, and there may be some people you're better than, but that's irrelevant because you do not compare yourself to others. You're in your own lane. You're doing your own thing. You're on your own individual journey. It's your vision, not anyone else's. And you know where you're going to, and you're thriving in your journey of elevation to your destination. The next one is double-mindedness versus clear focus. Double-mindedness, yes and no. I'm in and I'm out. I'm going to stop doing this, but I can't help myself. Where are you at? Are you double-minded in your thinking? Because a double-minded man or woman is unstable in all of their ways. What are you doing? What do you stand for? How can people know that they can trust you? Do you have consistency? Do you make changes and then go back on it? Do you say you're not going to do something, but your actions violate the very things that you said you wouldn't do? Where are you at? Or do you have clear focus? Do you have a plan, an objective, a goal, a destination that you plan to reach, and that you know where you're going? And anything and any individual that is trying to deter you or take you away from that, you're clear in how you're going to address and deal with that. You do not tolerate things or people. You have a vision, a plan, a purpose, and a goal, and you are making sure that you achieve that. Your actions, your thoughts, and your words are in line with that focus. And that is what leads to your success. That is which has gotten you to this place. This is why you have been able to get so far. Clear focus. The next stage is, do you play it safe or do you take risks? Do you play it safe? Do you doubt yourself? Do you stay in your comfort zone? Do you always look at something and say, that might be too hard, I might fail? What if it goes wrong? How will people look at me? Are you wearing the mask? Are you playing it safe with your life? Are there things that you know you should have done, but because you've played it safe, you've stopped yourself, you've hindered yourself? Or are you that risk taker? Do you go for it? Do you say, I will try anyway? Are you someone that is dedicated to the cause? And when I say taking risks, I'm not talking about just being crazy and just going and getting out there and doing any odd thing. I'm talking about calculated risks. I'm talking about where you say, I may fail, but I'll fail forwards. This may be difficult, but I'll give it a try. Do you take risks with your life? Where are you at today in your life? And if you've taken risks, you'll be further in your life than if you haven't. And you know deep down in your heart, if there is things that you should have done and you didn't, and you're always asking yourself, why didn't I give it a go? Why didn't I try? And I want to encourage you today. If you are someone who's been playing it safe, I want you to start to take risks because life is risky. You are guaranteed to die. You will not make it out alive. So while you're here, take those risks and make the adventure be the greatest thing it could ever be. Take those risks. Trust yourself. Believe in your potential and make it happen. Make it happen. The next point, the Gazelle, procrastination and postponement. Always delaying, always deterring, always holding back, always second guessing, always procrastinating. Things that you know you should do tomorrow, mañana, 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 and it never happens. It never takes place. There is certain things you should have done over a year ago and you still haven't done it. and it's stopping you, it's hindering you, it's killing you. It's killing your motivation. It's killing your confidence because you're violating yourself. You're not keeping the own promises you made to yourself. Or are you the lion filled with purpose and passion? You have a design, a plan, a blueprint of where it is you plan to get to. And you take steps day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year to get you to that purpose. And because of your passion that drives you, that influences you, that makes you see possibility where others can't see it, your passion that makes you get up earlier or stay later to do something, your passion that makes you speak in a different way, move in a different way, think in a different way, is what drives your success, is what drives your victory, it's what drives your breakthrough, it's what keeps you going when others fail. Passion and purpose. It's so important. Then we have the fixed mindset of the gazelle versus the growth mindset of the lion. You see, one of the things about the gazelle, when they're in the jungle, in the wilderness, and the lion comes, the fixed mindset of the gazelle is, I just need to be faster than the slowest gazelle. That's the fixed mindset. Not going to do any more. As long as I'm safe, as long as everything's okay, and I don't have to do too much, that's good for me. Or are you like the lion who has the growth mindset? Anything is possible. I'm still growing. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to try this. I'll be able to do that. I cannot do it yet, but I will soon. The fixed mindset is, it's impossible. Things will never change. This is just the way it is. Woe is me. In your situation and circumstance, have you just given up? Fixed mindset. It won't change. There's nothing I can do about this. Or do you have a growth mindset? Are you looking at things from a different perspective? Are you envisioning the person that you will be? Are you taking steps to get to that next level, to learn that new language, to do that new thing, to start your business, to scale, whatever it may be? Growth mindset. Looking at things from the potential of who you are and where you're going to get to. Not where you might get to, where you're going to get to. Growth mindset. Do you have limiting beliefs? What are the things you say about yourself? Whenever you are planning to try something new or do something difficult, what's the things that go on in your mind? What are the things you tell yourself? What are the lies that your limiting beliefs are speaking to you to keep you bound in limits, lacks, and labels? Or do you operate out of abundant possibilities? Do you declare what you're going to be? Do you speak the vision of who you are into existence? What's going on in your mind? Do you see the end result? Do you declare the end from the beginning? What's happening for you? What's going on in your mind? Because so a man or woman thinketh, so they are. What abundant possibilities do you declare over your life? Do you picture and envision and visualize into reality? Abundant possibilities. Where do you see yourself? What is your end goal? What's the vision for your life? Are you declaring it and are you thinking about it? Because the more that you think about something with the emotional currency of a feeling and emotion is what becomes programmed into your subconscious mind. And if it's fear, failure, and limiting beliefs, that's what you're being programmed by. And that algorithm will play itself out in your life, in your situations, in your relationships, in your events that happen in your life. But if it's abundant possibilities, you will see that that's what will manifest. And again, if you are driven by fear, false evidence appearing real, and that guides your decisions, you will often make huge mistakes in your life. You will allow great opportunities to pass you. You will live an unfulfilled life. And you know within yourself where you have done that and the bitter results of guilt and remorse and regret that he has birthed into your life. But it's time to walk in your vision and let that guide your decision. It's time to walk in your vision and allow that to guide your decision. You can feel the fear and do it anyway, and come to a place where you face everything and rise. This is your moment. This is the time. Set a new vision for yourself, a vision where you are powerful, where you are elevated, where you are successful, where you are conquering your fears, and allow that to guide your decisions. So the gazelle, it stops whenever possible. It stops whenever possible. It will run a few steps and then stop. It will run a few steps and then stop. And sometimes that kind of mindset is what we can have in our lives. We do as little as possible, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your relationship, whether it's in relation to your health, whether it's in relation to education. You just do as much to get by, and then you stop. And you wonder why you are not making the progress that you desire. And then when you come across someone who has the lion mode attitude and goes the extra mile, and so you're meeting someone in chapter 20 of their life, and you're only in chapter 2 because you start and stop and start and stop. And you wonder, how did they get there? It's because they went the extra mile. It's because they went beyond their pain. It's because when they felt tired, they still kept going. And so we are the results of the fruits of our labor. And so if you are laboring in vain, if you are only doing a little and starting and stopping, when the results come back and you see the fruits of your labor, it's only you who you have to have a complaint with. And so I want to encourage you, get in the habit of going the extra mile. Because first you make your habits, but then your habits make you. And so get in the habit of going the extra mile. You will see the magnificent benefits of it as you begin to elevate and evolve. And so the next key thing that I want to look at is, do you have, is it safe mentality? Is it safe mentality? Am I going to say how I really feel because I don't want to rock the boat? Is it safe mentality? Should I try and do this because, I might look silly if I get it wrong? Is it safe mentality? And so you get stuck in this web of mediocre and not doing who you are, not being who you are, not living who you are. And inside you die a little bit every day. Inside, your self-esteem, your self-respect, your self-confidence just diminishes a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. Because in life, if you don't use it, you lose it. And because you're playing it safe consistently, over and over and over again, you are unlearning the very characteristics, the very lion mode, that is the thing that's going to get you to your desired destination. But when you operate out of the gladiator mentality, I'm in this to win it, no holds barred, he who dares wins, I'm not leaving here until I complete this. When you have that gladiator mindset, you see things differently. You operate differently. Whatever you look at it from the point of view as this is prey. This job, this course, this situation, losing this weight, earning that job, getting that promotion is prey. And everything you're going to slay. It doesn't matter how big it is, whatever Goliath is facing you, you've got those stones that you're going to use to sling and throw and slay that giant. You have a gladiator mentality. I'm in this. Let's go. Spartans. That's the mindset. That's the attitude. Gladiator mentality. Which one are you? And if you've been playing it safe, it's time to break free. It's time to let the Hulk within you break free and manifest. It's time to smash your goals, smash your situations, smash your fears, smash your insecurities, smash your complacency, smash your procrastination, smash your high esteem in other people's opinions. Are you concerned about most things? In meaning, does everything become an issue for you? You see, most of the time, we suffer more in our minds than we do in reality. It's what we pump things up to be. It's what we make of things. Some of these things, they're small stuff. But we magnify everything. We make everything become a massive issue. But the lion doesn't sweat the small stuff. It knows the difference. It knows a hill from the mountain. It knows the small things from the big things, and it doesn't sweat the small stuff. There's a saying that says the lion does not turn around to every dog that is barking. And when these small things come, know that you will deal with it. Know that you would overcome it. Know that you can manage it. Know that you will slay it. So that you are not filled and riddled with fear, worry, and anxiety, which creates negative feelings and emotions, which then resonate in your body because your body keeps a score. And sometimes we wonder why we're weak, why we're sick, why we're unhealthy. Because every dis-ease in the mind is the precursor to disease in the body. Thoughts create things. Next, do you avoid the challenge? Do you avoid the challenge? What challenge has been facing you this week, this last month, even this year? What challenge have you been avoiding? What situation do you know that you need to address? What is that circumstance that's held you bound? What is that event or past, situation that's held you captive? And you've been avoiding it to your own peril. And because you have not been addressing that thing, you can't move forward in your life. It's an anchor holding you down, holding you back, keeping you from being the best version of yourself. It's time to operate in lion mode and embrace that challenge, embrace that fear, embrace that situation, embrace that circumstance, and chase it, defeat it, slay it, so that you can be free, so that you can walk in the newness of life, so that you can live your best life. The gazelle thinks short term. They have what I call the pig mentality, the problem of immediate gratification, only thinking small, only thinking about here and now, only thinking about what's good in the moment. And so they're overly pleasure seeking, but pain avoiding. When you're thinking in the short term, you're only thinking about what's the benefit to me right now. Where the lion thinks long term, has a bifocal vision, recognizing what may be happening as a short-term consequence will have long-term benefits. And most things in life that are good for you may be difficult in the short term, but great in the long term. Whether that's studying, doing a degree, getting a house, even having a child. The beginning part is painful, and you have 9 months of that baby growing in the womb, but it leads to a lifetime of greatness, a legacy, your name continuing upon the earth. Where are you at today? Are you thinking short term? Are you thinking just about getting through today? Or do you think long term, have an end goal and work your way back so that the very thing you're doing today is for a greater purpose that leads on to something else? I hope so, because we should all begin with the end in mind. And we should then have a purpose and a plan, a rhyme and a reason to what we are doing. And the gazelle default position is caution. Its default position is caution. And everything is looked at from that perspective. What could go wrong, what might go wrong, what has gone wrong in the past. Caution. Timid, fearful, reluctant. And do you operate out of caution? Do you not speak up because of fear that you might have a backlash? Do you not show who you really are, so you're living a fake life? Do you constantly allow other people's opinion to override yours? What are you doing with your life? Are you at the place that you would like to be? When you look in the mirror, are you happy with the person you see in your reflection? Are you confident and competent in who you are? Or are you constantly riddled by caution because of the things you tell yourself, because of the things you speak over yourself, and because you continuously double guess yourself? Or is your default position courage? And courage is the complete opposite of caution. You see, courage is when, in spite of the fear, I do it anyway. Courage is where you say, there's a possibility that I can succeed. Courage is where you say, either way, I'm going to learn something from this. Courage is where you say, not me, not today, sorry. Courage is where you move forward. And I want you to operate out of courage today in whatever that area is that you know enough is enough, and it's time to elevate, it's time to stand up, it's time to speak up, it's time to do, it's time to change, it's time to grow. Take that step today and let your default position be courage. And regardless of whatever happens, the fact that you did it and operated out of your values is what is important. Take that step today and let your default position from this point on be courage, because courage conquers all things. So, do you go with the flow? Do you go with the flow? Or do you set the standard? Are you the sheep or are you the leader? Are you being controlled, manipulated by the media, by what's going on social media, by what everyone is saying? Or do you set the standard? Do you stay in your own lane? Do you have your own purpose? You see, your vision is your vision. And it's something that only you should be able to see. And you should allow that to guide you rather than what everyone else is saying. All the noise, all of this extra baggage of what everyone else thinks. Or do you set the standard? Does that internal navigation system within you drive you? Which one is it? Do you focus on immediate gain, or do you value the process and the outcome? In other words, if something doesn't work out straight away for you, or if you can't see it happening by you doing it for one day, then you don't bother engage. But if you value the process and you recognize that in pursuit of a goal, there is things that I'm going to gain, learn, and grow in. And then when the outcome comes, I get the final result. And when we operate out of that way, we are able to see things differently. We learn so much more about ourselves, and we understand the importance of the process, because the process is just as important as the outcome. Because if you do something or you achieve a goal and you did it via ways that violated your values, even though you got the outcome, it's still not a great thing. But when you recognize you went through this process and you did things and you set the standard and you had your vision that you kept to and you operated out of courage and you spoke your truth and you did all these things, that process that makes you, that builds character, is just as important. And they are where you learn the real lessons of life. So value the process as well as the outcomes. Are you harmless and gentle? Now, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being harmless and gentle, but if that's all you've got, so in other words, even if someone does rile you up, or even if there's a situation when it needs for you to operate out of gladiator mode, you don't even have it in you. That's not a way to be. That can be a choice, but that's not the way to be, as in that's all you've got. What we want to be is dangerous but disciplined. You see, you can be a warrior in a garden, but if war comes, you then know and can switch it up and change. We want to be dangerous but disciplined, meaning that you can be calm, that you can have self-control. But there's a saying that says, beware of the wrath of a patient man. And so you want to be dangerous and disciplined. That's what you want to be. You want to be able to, if the situation calls for it, that you can switch and turn on your lion mode. And so it's really important. Learn how to think, learn how to speak, learn how to act, learn how to defend yourself. Disciplined and dangerous. You don't want to just only be harmless and gentle. You see, once you're disciplined, you can choose to be harmless and gentle. But if the situation calls for it, if the circumstances arise, if the events come up and you need to defend yourself, protect your family, you are able to become dangerous. The gazelle, doubt your abilities and value. What's your strengths? What makes you you? Why are you unique? What are the values that you hold? Are you able to clearly articulate them and confidently articulate them? Or do you doubt yourself? Are you even unsure about what makes you unique? If you was going for a job interview and they said, tell me 3 things about yourself of why we should take you over this other person, what would you say? Are you able to speak well of yourself? Do you speak good things over yourself? Do you think good things over yourself? And not just today because I'm asking you, but every day. Or are you like the lion? Do you know your worth and potential? Do you walk in your worth and potential? Do you think about your wealth and potential? When a situation arises, do you compare it to your wealth and potential? And if someone is not treating you or speaking to you in line with how you see yourself, you do something about it. You address it. You speak up. You make a choice. Know your worth and potential. There is greatness inside of you. You was made and created with a great gift, something that only you can manifest on the earth. But it's up to you to bring it forth and to bring it to pass. No one else can do it but you. So don't be like the gazelle, stagnation. being still, being stuck. But be like the lion, execution, pressing forward, moving forwards, doing things, taking control of your life, taking control of your thoughts, taking control of your emotions, executing with excellence, getting better each time, because practice makes progress and progress brings forth development, execution over stagnation. And finally, are you externally driven? Meaning you're pushed by situations. And you know, when someone pushes you, often like from behind, it jerks you into things. And so you're being pushed into things. You're externally driven by outside factors, people's opinions, what people may say, what people may think. You're doing things not because it aligns with your values, but because of what other people may say about you. Externally driven. When we're externally driven, we're unstable. We're not consistent. But when we operate out of lion mode and we're internally driven, we are pulled by our vision. We are pulled by our values. We are pulled by our purpose. We are pulled by that greater internal mechanism that lets us know that something is right and it's the right thing to do, even if it's difficult or may cause consequences as a result of us doing it. When we are internally driven, we are tapping into our why. We are connected to our purpose. We do things because it's the right thing. We choose to do what is right over what is easy. What are you? Are you operating out of the gazelle mode the majority of the time and being pushed by things? Or are you operating out of the lion mode and being pulled by your vision, your passion, your purpose, and your goals? Because depending on which one it is, will determine how far you have come in what's more valuable to you, or you've become quite far in doing what's valuable to others. So I encourage you to begin to be internally driven so you can be happy with yourself. So in conclusion, we've gone through 23 questions, and it's been some difficult things as we've looked in the mirror to examine ourselves and to recognize where we are operating out of the gazelle and where we're operating out of the lion. And so how did you measure up? And this is reflections for you to think about. How did you measure up? What did you learn? What changes are needed? What are you going to do about this? Where you have been operating out of the lion mode, great, continue to do it. And where you've been operating out of the gazelle, recognize that and use the traits of your lion mode to help you grow and develop in those areas. Because what we want is at the end of this journey to be able to look back and say, what a ride it was, what a journey as I executed out of lion mode. And I slayed and I conquered, and sometimes I fell down, but I got back up again. And I finished the race in style. And at the end, your book, because we are all books, that your book, when it's opened and people read it, they'll say, man, what a man, what a woman. So keep going, keep pressing forwards and execute your lion mode. And so be aware of where you have the help mentality, where you're saying, woe is me, where you're allowing things to just happen to you, where you're not taking responsibility and accountability for your actions, and where you're just going with the flow and going with the herd to follow the status quo. Because this type of action and behavior often leads to long-term failure. But begin to operate out of your lion mode attitude. Execute beast mode. Do those things that you need to do. Stand up for yourself. Fight the good fight. And live in lion mode. So just to recap, just so that we're clear and we understand, gazelle is where there is limiting beliefs. It's often filled with compromise. We have a fixed mindset where we feel this is the way it is, nothing can change, plays it safe. So you never really take those chances, living in the comfort zone. It's where procrastination happens because you don't trust yourself. You're second guessing yourself. And it's where you avoid the challenge. And the challenge is what changes you. Or you can operate out of your lion mode where there is abundant possibilities. You see yourself from the perspective of I am rather than I can't. There's consistency in your approach, in your thinking, in your mindset, in the affirmations you speak over yourself. And that creates a growth mindset where you believe all things are possible. You take risks. You put yourself out there. You try new things because you are filled with purpose. You know your why. And so you embrace challenges because you recognize the only way for you to get to where you want to be is by doing something you've never done. And so I encourage you and I implore you today, take that step and begin to operate in lion mode. And you will see that you are much greater, much stronger than you ever could have believed. So in closing, I want to share this last quote with you, which says, everyone wants to eat, but few are willing to hunt. I encourage you today, be one of those few that begins to hunt, and you may eat success, eat victory, eat blessings, eat breakthrough, eat well-being, eat prosperity, eat great relationships in your life. So take care and execute your lion mode. And as always, if you found this useful, then check out my YouTube channel that has a whole range of videos that would inspire and motivate you to become the best version of yourself. Thank you for lending me your ear and your heart. I hope you found this video to be invigorating. So leave a comment below and let me know one thing that you will take away from this Golden Nuggets. And share this video with anyone who you feel would benefit from what has just been shared. And check out my channel for more videos dedicated to supporting and empowering you. And remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell, as this is me calling you for our next one-to-one. So as always, stay blessed, remain grateful, and manifest your greatness.